Are your nipples sore and your baby is feeding nonstop? You're not broken, you're breastfeeding. Welcome to cluster feeding, where baby is on the boob nonstop. It's normal. It's part of your baby and your body working together to establish your milk supply. And so often you hear of moms who start to experience cluster feeding, and then they start to stress out thinking that their body's not producing enough milk, and therefore they supplement with formula. I'm not saying anything's bad about that, but the concern with that is if they are wanting to exclusively breastfeed and they supplement with formula, your body's going to produce less milk, and therefore you might have to rely on formula for the future. If you are going to supplement with, say, some stored breast milk that you have or formula, you need to actually pump that same amount so that your body's still producing it as if baby was just at the breast. But more often than not, baby is getting just what they need. You do not have to supplement most of the time. If you are concerned that maybe you aren't producing enough milk, even though baby is constantly at the breast, you can go by how many wet diapers and dirty diapers baby has in a day. You can also ask your midwife or your doctor or a lactation consultant, and they can kind of let you know if it's normal or not. And then also lactation consultants can do weighted feeds just to see if baby's actually getting stuff. Sometimes they are just nursing for comfort, other times it's to bring in more milk. Cluster feeding is just normal, so don't always stress that you're not making enough milk, because a lot of moms will quit breastfeeding or they'll supplement with formula because it's just too hard on their bodies or just too exhausting, or they're just stressed out and concerned that baby's just not eating enough. So therefore they will supplement, and then they won't pump when they supplement a bottle, and then your milk will plummet. It's so important those first 6 weeks, especially, to establish a solid milk supply. So if you are going to supplement with formula or pumped milk or anything, make sure that you are replacing that feed with a pump to get kind of similar amounts that baby would have gotten if they were on the breast. In order to build your breast milk supply, you have to make sure that baby is at the breast nonstop to establish a good supply. And you'll hear so many things from people. I notice even like the older generation, they were always on a feeding schedule. Well, not everybody, but for the most part, most of them are on feeding schedules where they were feeding their babies like every 3 hours. And I just feel like they kind of frown at you when they see baby on the breast all day. And it's hard because in the early weeks, like when you have a newborn, everybody wants to stop in and they want to see baby, they want to hold baby, they want to be with baby. But baby needs to be on the breast. That's how baby helps increase your milk supply. So yeah, if you can just kind of keep skin to skin contact with your baby and just let baby have the breast whenever they want, that is so going to help establish your milk supply. Cluster feeding is so important. It's super exhausting, but it's so important. Sometimes my babies would be at the breast like every 30 minutes, sometimes every 20 minutes, sometimes I'd be on it for an hour. And it's not always just for milk to feed, it's for comfort too, soothing them. They've been with you for the last 9, almost 10 months. So it's that closeness. It's not just about feeding them. It's about that comfort, that closeness, that bringing them into the world in like a peaceful environment. You're the only thing that they've known. Your heartbeat, your voice, your comfort, that's their everything. So I think it's just really important that you kind of get that bond in the beginning, because I think that really plays a big role in your milk supply and just your happy hormones and just the whole picture.